Our special guest is Dr. Timothy Brantley. He's a certified counselor as well as the pastor of Restoration Springs. He's an author and he has over 20 years of experience in relationship counseling.
Wow.
Dr. Brantley is also a newlywed. His wife, Portia, is also an author as well as an international transformational coach.
Wow.
So get ready, get ready. Let's go into the show.
New season that I'm in, and a woman who's very supportive, who's very encouraging, and I found that in Portia. Plus, as a pastor, I did not want to date any women in my church because, to me, this is just to me, that's spiritual incest. That was just for me. I did not want to date, because when you do that, that will cause fights among the women. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to tear my church up. Again, what am I taking out of this divorce? What am I taking out of this bad relationship? Because whatever I take out is what I'm going to apply to everybody else.
You're wrong.
My people die for lack of knowledge, and that is so equivalent in the church. I'll never forget, and I won't give the name, but they're very popular people in the church, and they said publicly, and of course the church clapped. We're so busy in the church, we forgot our anniversary. What?
That is not cute.
You forgot your anniversary.
That is not cute.
That, and the people were clapping like, no, that's nothing to clap about.
But see, that's that bad support system that I always talk about. Because somebody in that congregation should have said, now you know that is so horrible.
That is not nothing to clap about. Because again, what has happened, and please calm me down, Lord. What has happened is that we have kept that negative spirit that's all about the church. And that's why so many of our kids, and my kids are no exception, don't want to go to church or become atheists, because you put so much into the church that you forgot to put anything into your family. And
forgot to teach them how to be human, and you're not even teaching them how to be spiritual correctly.
This is very controversial, but people beat up Michelle, David's first wife. They beat her up. They beat her up because when David came back, David's first wife was
in
Michelle,
the Bible.
In the Bible.
Oh, baby, I'm thinking you're talking about somebody. Wait, who's this? Who is this?
So,
what are you talking about?
So Michelle was Saul's first daughter that David married. Okay.
Okay. Well, babe, not everybody knows
okay.
what David.
I'm sorry.
You know how many Davids there? That's why I'm like, who's David? I'm thinking you're talking about somebody's lifetime.
No. Sorry, David in the Bible, in the context.
Okay.
Move on now.
Yes.
All right. So, so when David came back from celebrating his victory, Michelle was mad at him because he gave out food to everybody, and then she was mad at him because she thought that he made a fool of himself. But in my counseling mind, I think she was mad because she was still dealing with the pain of being so far away from him. And when he came back to the kingdom, he had 2 additional wives.
Right.
I was mad.
So it is wrong that we take that text about, she was trying to mess up David's praise. Please understand the text that David gave out bread to everybody, but nowhere do you see him bringing bread to her.
That's right. That's good. That's good. That is so good.
Why she was mad? She's like, everybody else is eating.
Everybody else. And back to your point, what happens with pastors and ministers? They feed everybody, and then by the time they come home, either there's nothing there or they're left. I was guilty of that. I gave everything to the people. I gave everything, and then by the time I come home, I don't want to talk because I'm tired. And that's just wrong. That's just spiritual stealing from your family. That's what happens all the time.
Wow.
Because charity starts at
home. That's correct.
It starts at home. That's our first ministry.
Wow.
It is your first ministry. And that's why I'm so honored to have Portia in my life, because by her not being a church lady, and yet she accepts me as her husband, who happens to be a pastor, she ain't gonna sugarcoat. So
I'll be like, boo, Minister Kamal needs to preach because we need to go to the beach today. Minister Henry, ask Minister Henry to preach because, boo-boo, we need to go.
What if my name become Boo Boo? I wouldn't know. What if my name become Boo Boo?
Very it is very important because I do like to, people think I'm the girl that likes to go, do. I'm the one I think that slows him down just a little bit because I love living in the moment and I love relaxation. Of course I love to have fun, but I love to do that on a family level. So I am the one to say, hey babe, we hadn't done this in a couple of weeks. Do you want to take a weekend to do this or to do that? And he's always like, of course, yes.
I'm going pumpkin picking on Sunday. A black man gonna do pumpkin picking.
Pumpkin picking.
I ain't never done pumpkin picking. You done pumpkin picking before?
I never had that. I never did that.
Never did that, Warren?
I told her that.
Warren, they have hay rides and because we have kids, so
okay. Now I know the hay rides.
Yeah, they have hay rides. You can get like pumpkin ice cream. They even have like pumpkin squash.
I'm going through the field looking for a big old pumpkin. I gotta carry and put it back in my car. Yeah. And I gotta pay for that. I'm going to again. And then we can do things with it.
You guys are awesome. And remarriage and what that looks like. People say how long, and Portia answered the question, and we all talked about when you're ready. You'll know when you're ready, and it's when you're not looking. If you're always out the window looking for Mr. Right and
you're gonna miss him because
you're not yourself, you're not ready.
Yes.
And if you're still selfish, you're definitely not ready, because marriage is not for selfish folks, because you're going to have to put yourself on the back burner many days in your marriage, and such as your spouse, because that's what marriage is about. It's a compromise. It's about communication.
Wisdom.
Yes, wisdom, lots of wisdom. And so we have to be mindful. I often say we're doing marriage. What do I mean by doing marriage? Marriage is at the forefront. We had small kids, but we were doing marriage. We couldn't forget about date night. Definitely don't want to forget about my birthday or anniversary, because what does the Bible say about that?
Words.
Ooh, you definitely don't want to forget about that. Busy. I was too busy, or I was taking care of the church folks. Honey, that's a no. That's a no. Do marriage with your spouse. I don't care. You may not be able to go on vacation every year, but you can take a weekend and go to the beach. You can take a date night once a month. Right. Those things are important. And if you know anything about women, I talk about the 6-figure income and that kind of stuff. But if you know something about the heart of a woman, she just wants you to meet her love language. Just fill her tank. Just fill her tank. That's all. And every day you're going to have to fill her tank. Right. I don't care if you preach all day, she still needs her tank filled. That could be quality time, watching a movie together, go pumpkin picking. That could be going out to dinner. That's filling her tank. Or if that's not her love language and it's gifts, stop by the gas station, bring her a rose. That's her love language. You're filling her tank. If you fill her tank, she'll never let you go empty. I promise you. If you keep her tank filled, she will fulfill your needs, because you're making her feel important. And you're at the forefront. And as long as you keep her at the forefront, don't come telling me, I thought you knew I love you. No, baby, tell me that you love me.
Tell you said that. Tell me that you love me.
Tell me.
I'm asking you to tell me.
I love
you. and see, I don't care if that's 2 years or 35 years. I need to. That's a part of my love language.
I got the clue.
Hey, you funny today, girl. You funny.
I'm just being real. Portia, am I not being real?
It's true. It's true. And on the flip side, because I'm very much of a man girl. On the flip side of it, that man
Yes, sir.
has to be fulfilled to keep giving to us as well.
Mhm.
Well, that's what we do.
Yeah.
When you fill my tank,
Yep.
I'm right there to fill yours.
Right.
Reciprocation.
You don't understand. It works together for the good.
Yep.
You fill me, you will never go dry.
Hello.
Take care of me.
What?
Always take care of
You
you.
better do some exercise today, brother. She gonna work you over, brother. You better work out, man. She talking. She sending you a sign. She sending
You know, in the old day, back in times,
Oh, Jesus.
that's the way things were taught.
Correct.
You know, you just take care of your man. But then you need to be taken care of as well.
Right.
That's correct.
It break you have to
Mm,
balance one another out.
right.
Keyword is balance.
We have to keep
Keyword.
balance in there.
That's
Because
right.
if I wear myself out taking care of you and you're not taking care of me, guess who's burnt out?
Correct.
And then I'm going to resent you
Right.
for always expecting from me, but giving nothing to me.
Right.
So as you take
Right.
care of me, I will forever take care of you. And that's how it works. Compatibility. That's the other word I wanted to say. We got to be compatible. You know, Warren's a science fiction guy. You know, he likes science fiction movies. I'm much of a mystery, that type of shows. It has to make sense to me.
Right.
But this girl will roll right up under him in that king size bed and watch science fiction. And he is so content and so happy because I'm now doing what he likes. And then guess what? After we finish that movie, he's going to give me the remote. Now I can go to my mystery. So the compatibility there, what works, you know, you give to him, he'll give right back to you.
That's it.
And that's what relationship is all about. You know, it's just not one giving. You come in the house, the clothes is dirty, the laundry room is filled. What's wrong with putting a load of clothes in the washing machine? That was one of the big problems I had with Warren early on. This man loved to clean the house. He loved to wash clothes. And I would fuss at him, you just go rake my yard, just go cut the yard, because I expected him to be like my dad. However, these days, a girl love her house clean. She loves clothes washed. Now, early on, he bleached a lot of dark clothes, but he's learned since then. So it's okay. It's okay. So we learn by our mistakes. And, you know, it's what works. And Portia said it eloquently. It's what works in your relationship. I remember years ago, one of our best friends told my sister, said, your husband cooks everything. And every year he's always doing Thanksgiving. Girl, you're supposed to cook. You're the woman of the house. And so my sister said, she asked her husband to prepare everything. And she cooked it. And she said that was the worst Thanksgiving. She messed up everything. This woman had been married for 40 years, but she took the advice of someone on the outside.
Wow.
And my brother-in-law said, what works in this house, works in this house.
Correct.
He loves to cook.
Good
He
point.
didn't have a problem with cooking,
Right.
but she tried to mimic what her girlfriend said, and it didn't work for them.
That's it.
So do not try to have a tailor-made marriage. We learn from each other, and we learn as we go. We just want to keep marriage at the forefront, and it will work. 33 years later, we're still here, and we still like each other. All right. So any last remarks on remarriage? Any? Because we pretty much said it throughout the segment. You know, it's when you get ready, and it's after you've gone through the pain. But understand this, that it will forever come back. You have to forever put it under your feet. You know, nothing lasts forever. It's a progressive healing that takes place. You know, Go ahead.
With remarriage, also you got to make sure that you're not going to repeat the same mistakes you did in the first.
Ooh, good.
That's a very important thing, item that I am consciously thinking about. That okay, I have a new wife. She's much younger. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. And so I don't want to do anything that's going to repeat the cycle again. See how beautiful she is? She's a beautiful.
I was going ahead. Go ahead,
Oh,
son.
have mercy.
Thank you.
Get my focus right. Anyway, so it's not making sure you don't repeat the same point, and also is that when you get triggered, is that okay? So I'm having a memory back to what my wife said about having an echo. Right? So I'm remarried. Okay, now and Portia something to us when we got engaged. She said now that they're going to get married, we got to make sure that now in the same setting we were in before, we don't repeat the same settings again. That stuck in my head when she said it. That was very powerful because she was speaking to our future.
That's good.
To where we were going, that we didn't want to be guilty of taking what God's given us and contaminating it from
Right.
sins.
And
Yes.
go ahead.
Go ahead,
I would
Portia.
also say it's just remarriage for me. This is so much fun. The kids are all grown. It's just like me and him, and it's just so much fun. It's so great because we get to really serve one another in the capacities that we need.
Yes.
That we need to serve each other. So I would say when and if you are thinking of or considering remarriage, know that number one, there is a service that needs to exchange between the two.
Sure enough.
And as Annie and Warren said earlier, if you are selfish, there's no need to even do anything.
It's not time.
Because you will have those unfulfilled expectations, and that will cause strife, that will cause regret, and that will cause like a separation. So, as long as, like, for me, I understand that my service is no longer, and to me, it was simple. My service was no longer my son. My service was no longer the things that I was serving in the past. My service is now to myself and to my new husband. So for me, it's easy. I know some people have different dynamics and it's not as cut and dry, but my service is to him, to God, of course, first. I'm not discounting that, of course, God first, but God first, myself to him, and then to everything else that I serve outside of that. So, remarriage is almost like a repurposing of money. When you repurpose your money,
that's a good point.
It's the same thing with service. You're always repurposing your service. So some people's may be in their business. Some people's may be in a marriage. Some people's may be, I'm adopting 5 kids, or whatever that repurpose is right now in my life. My repurpose is in my remarriage. So
That's good.
I'm very grateful to be in this spot that I am in, to serve yet another, I would say, light of God on this earth, because as it is in heaven, so is it on earth. I'm so grateful to serve someone with the light of God in them. And to me, I'm not just serving him, I'm serving the God light in him. So when you have that in mind, and when you know that you're serving that next God light next to you, you look at that person very different.
That's so good.
That's good.
I want to say that in my closing remarks. I love the fact that you said serve. We're to serve one another. That's what marriage is. Marriage is a ministry, is serving one to another. And that's key point. And as you serve, what people don't understand, as we serve our spouses, we serve God by serving them.
Correct.
And God, he reminded me this one night on my way home from church. I am so excited about the word that night, and I was just so blessed. But there was strife in our home, and I was on my way home, and I felt grief driving home, but I'm excited because of the word. So the word slapped me in the face, and he says, "Do unto him as you do unto me." So he gave me revelation in the midst of that. And so I remember that night when I went to point my finger like this, I had to put it down.
Sure enough.
When God reminded me of that, you're doing to him as you're doing unto me.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean just because you're sweet to me, I'm going to be sweet to you. I'm to serve you as I'm serving God, regardless to whether you're sweet to me. It's easy to do it when you're sweet to me, but even when you're not, I'm still in service to him as unto God.
Right.
So as long as we keep that in the forefront, and I think that's one of the things that have made our marriage so great over the years, and we've gone from good to great because of the fact that we had like experiences, and because of the fact that we're mindful of the mistakes we made in the past.
Yes.
And so we're so cautious.
Yes, that's cool. That's good.
You know, it really set a pattern of goodness. The good outweighed the bad from the past, because now it's in my forefront. It's in the forefront of my mind that I want to be mindful. I don't want to have the same destructive ways. I don't want to do the same thing. I want to do better. And I think that's what makes us the way we are today. Your closing remarks.
And I diddle the same thing.
You diddled me?
Yeah. I diddled you. Boo boo.
The woman is a nurturer. Okay, that is in her DNA, both mentally and spiritually. So whatever a woman speaks to her husband, she is nurturing that seed. And so if she's constantly calling him a devil, no surprise that he's exactly what you say. That just bothers me, and yet they want to come to church and speak in tongues, knock off every chair the usher done put together, knock down the pew, knock down the altar, scream and holler. And as soon as they get home, they want to be the most sanctimonious, non-loving, non-sexual spouse. That's not God.
That's not God.
That is not God.
And
That is hypocrisy. That's trying to show the world you're something that you're not, because your biggest Bible reader is not the Bible on your desk. It's what people read about you when they see your life.
Now that's a good closing right there. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Thank you guys for just sharing your knowledge and wisdom and expertise with us tonight, and our viewers. This has been a great show. We're going to have to come back and talk about some other things as it relates.
This Saturday.
Oh, and next Saturday.
Next Saturday, yes. Next Saturday we'll be on Facebook, Periscope, YouTube. I have these great guests as well coming aboard. Latoya J, and we're gonna keep it real. It's marriage, ministry, sex. Yeah, I said sex and stress. And if you don't want to hear nothing about it, don't turn to it, because I'm gonna keep it real and raw. Because the people are down for lack of knowledge. So we're gonna cover those issues because it is it was in Florida that we saw a couple that they got married 3 years ago. Big old wedding. I mean, gigantic wedding. In less than 3 years, he comes around, they separate, and he kills her.
What?
Because again, people are down for lack of knowledge. And yes, I don't care what title you have in the church, it's the title you have at home.
That's right. That's right.
That's the most important one.
That's right. That's right. That is so right. This is real, y'all. This is so real. Thank y'all again for being
Thanks
here.
for having us. Thanks for having us.
We will make sure to continue to display the flyer pertaining to next week's show or webinar. That concludes it for me. What about you, babe?
Congratulations again, you guys. We love you guys.